Merci beaucoup. Merci beaucoup tout le monde. Merci beaucoup tout le monde. Merci Anna, l'amour de ma vie, the mother of my two beautiful children, Valentina and Cruz. And most of all, thank you to the great grassroots conservatives who work and unite here today. And welcome to my hometown of Calgary. Conservatives from all over the country. Who's excited to be in Calgary in January? We're tough, we can take it. A little bit of regional advice for our Atlantic friends. Try the steak, not the seafood. For those of you from the Eastern Prairies, sorry to block your view with the mountains. To our friends in Toronto, enjoy your time outside of the center of the universe. I love seeing so many conservatives in one place, but it must freak the Liberals out enough to invoke the Emergencies Act. But truly, it's great to be home in the beating heart of the West, a land filled with treasure, a land of oil and honey. The place that taught me my great values, opportunity as big as the sky, where a handshake and a word is a man's bond, and where a hard day's work is its own sermon. My parents taught me the value of a dollar here in Calgary. My mother could sure stretch one. She's here over there. And she could stretch a dollar, that's for sure. My mother was one of those people who would literally drive clear across town to use one of those coupons to save half price on breakfast. And my dad would have me up at 5 in the morning to deliver newspapers. We weren't rich, but life was good. That was the deal. Work hard, start anywhere, get anywhere. That's what the country promised us all. A hopeful life, a safe home, a full table, a family you love, a flag that united. That's the country that we love. We call it the Canadian Promise, the deal. The professors might call it the social contract. And the people have kept their part of that bargain, working hard, spending less, following the rules. But unfortunately, the government has not kept its part of the bargain. Right now, as we gather, families are struggling to do the math. Young people are wondering if they'll ever have a job or a home. Worried parents are sitting at kitchen tables with empty fridges and empty bank accounts. And seniors worry that their savings might not last as long as their days. This Liberal government doesn't just leave people behind, it prices and shuts out youth from homes, workers from jobs, and families from groceries. Simply put, Canadians cannot afford life under the Liberal government. The government is literally the biggest item in a family budget today. It takes up more money than food, clothing, and shelter combined. The cost of government is driving up the cost of living. Taxes and record money printing deficits are inflating everything. And it's no coincidence, therefore, that as the Liberal government doubled the debt, housing costs and food bank lineups doubled at the very same time. Now, they promised that all these deficits were going to lead to investments. You know, it's kind of like the old magicians who said that they could turn lead into gold. But those deficits never became investments. In fact, Canada has had the worst investment and the worst growth in the G7 over the last 10 years. Amazingly, Canadian citizens, this is an incredible fact, Canadian citizens now open more businesses in the United States of America than they do in their home country. That's elbows out. And taxpayers spend more on federal debt interest than on health care. That's more money for bondholders and bankers than for nurses and doctors. Liberal laws have unleashed crime. Out of control, open borders, immigration has overwhelmed health care, housing, and job markets. Cancel culture and identity politics divide Canadians. Separatist movements are reawakened. After 10 years of Liberal rule, Canada is more costly and crime-ridden, dangerous and dependent and divided than ever before. Now, Mr. Carney, he promised to change all that. But here we are a year later. You know, what's changed? Sure, the words have changed, the style has changed, but what's changed in your life, really? Well, let's go down the list. The illusion, Mr. Carney said he would spend less. He's spending $90 billion more, and he doubled the deficit that he inherited. The illusion, Mr. Carney said, a country that cannot feed itself has few options. Well, food inflation has doubled under his watch, and it's the worst in the G7. Groceries will cost the average family an almost unimaginable $17,600 this year. That's after-tax money. The illusion, build, baby, build. The reality has been block, baby, block. He hasn't got rid of a single anti-development law or bureaucracy. The No New Pipelines law, still here. And by the way, speaking of pipelines, how many of them are approved? Zero. Il y a 10 ans, avant l'arrivée des libéraux, le contrat social, le deal, c'était qu'en travaillant fort, on pouvait gagner un bon vie, un bon salaire pour s'acheter une belle maison et fonder une famille. Mais aujourd'hui, vivre au Canada coûte plus cher et M. Carney a promis qu'il serait jugé par l'épicerie. Le résultat, le Canada a la pire inflation alimentaire parmi le G7 et la famille moyenne va devoir dépenser presque 18 000 $ pour se nourrir cette année. M. Carney a doublé le déficit qu'il a hérité pendant que vos taxes et vos impôts continuent d'augmenter. Les jeunes ne peuvent plus acheter une maison. Avec les libéraux, le Canada est devenu une nation de locataires, pas une nation de propriétaires. M. Carney a promis du changement, mais bien sûr, il a changé le ton, le style, les mots. Mais depuis qu'il est devenu Premier ministre, est-ce que les choses ont vraiment changé dans votre vie? Est-ce que ça coûte moins cher? Je sais que M. Carney aime bien faire des grands discours autour du monde lorsqu'il force les Canadiens à payer plus ici. C'est clair. M. Carney, c'est un grand parleur ailleurs, mais un petit faiseur chez nous. So I've got a funny paradox for you. I've got a bit of a funny paradox for you. He imposes taxes and red tape on home building, resource development, and businesses. Then he creates new bureaucracies to subsidize home building, resource development, and businesses. He taxes food production, and then he creates new programs for food subsidies. In every case, he blocks and taxes a thing and then subsidizes that same thing. As President Reagan says, if a liberal sees something that moves, he taxes it. If it keeps moving, he regulates it. And when it stops moving, he subsidizes it. But why not just get out of the way and let things move? Well, because then there'd be no role for him. No photo op, no power. If everyone could just get up and do great things without him, he would be less relevant. The government would be less important. This way, you have to give him your money and then come ask for some of it back. And he can claim that he's building the thing that he's blocking. The cost of the benefit is seen in the form of his photo ops and political power, but the cost is paid by the homeowner who can't build a home, the carpenter who never gets a job building it, and the family that never gets to move in, or the entrepreneur who never launches the business, or the senior who, because of all these extra costs, has to choose between eating, and heating. These costs are so often unseen. And even more often, so too are the people paying them. But my message to those people who have felt unseen for too long, who are carrying the country on their back and feel underappreciated and overworked, Conservatives see you, and Conservatives will fight for you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. The people need the government off their backs, out of their way, and by their sides. And when I become Prime Minister, these great Canadians will not need to ask my permission to succeed. Business will get ahead by having the best product, not the best lobbyist, by pleasing customers, not pleasing politicians. I love you too. Thank you. We have the most amazing patriots, the most amazing people in this party. Thank God for the grassroots of the Conservative Party. And the great people of our country are, as I go around and I meet the people of this country, and I spend half my time doing that and half my time on Parliament Hill, it's become very clear to me that the common people, not the ordinary people, the extraordinary people, they have all the wisdom and the virtue to make their own decisions and run their own lives. They don't need to be bossed around by government. Our government is here to do its job. Only the things that people can't do for themselves, not run your life. In fact, if I were starting a new political party from scratch, I'm not. But if I were, it would be called the Mind Your Own Damn Business Party. It would be. That includes respecting the constitutional jurisdiction of our provinces and getting the federal government to butt out of the affairs of Albertans and Quebecers and other Canadians, to make room, have a smaller government that makes room for the dignity of work and the soft, strong bonds of family. It was by fighting for these principles. Thank you. It was by fighting for these principles and giving hope to the common people that we won the most votes in our party's history, 2.5 million more votes and 25 more seats. Often we won these votes in places that had never voted Conservative before. And now it is clear, Conservatives are the party of workers, including union workers, small business owners, and young people. Have you seen the youth delegation at this convention? It is amazing. In the past, when I was growing up, we would go to a Conservative convention and you'd look out at the crowd and it would be the Great White North, white hair everywhere. And we love the people with white hair, the wisdom that they share with all of us, but we also need a party that's infused with young people. And on that front, we are the youngest party and the oldest party. In fact, Elections Canada holds a mock vote in the high schools on Election Day, and this year, Conservatives won. We came in first. So congratulations, parents. The kids are all right. Now, and every year, 1/3 of those high school kids, roughly, becomes eligible to vote for real. So we got to make sure we get them out to vote by continuing to inspire them every day and in every way. And that means now, obviously, elections teach us lessons, like, for example, the need to hold earlier and open nominations, to have more local autonomy, to empower our local riding associations. We're the backbone of our organization. And for that, I want to thank all of you in this room who have provided such valuable input in the lead up to and throughout this convention. You are the ones whose ears and whose feet are on the ground and have the best intelligence to bring us. And you have told us many things, but one of the most important lessons I have gained from listening to you throughout this convention is that you told us to ignore the voices who keep telling us to abandon our conservative principles. We will remain true to our principles. Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. On the issue of the principles that we hold, we won the debate in the last election on every single one of the big issues. On carbon taxes, inflation, housing, resources, crime, drugs, and soon we will be proven right once again on the wasteful and insane liberal gun grab. It's funny to watch the liberal rhetoric. First, they said conservatives have no policies. It's just slogans. Then they said conservative policies are very scary. And then they said, we agree with all the conservative policies. The best part of being conservatives is that eventually everyone admits that we were right all along. And it's not just the solutions for the past, it's the solutions for the future that we offer the Canadian people that brings so much hope. Policies like an affordable government for an affordable life. You see, stronger take-home pay requires lower taxes. A strong dollar that buys more requires we end inflationary deficits. Both require we cut spending on bureaucracy, consultants, corporate welfare, foreign aid, and handouts to phony refugees. And speaking of affordability, everything should be dirt cheap in Canada because we have the most dirt in which to build homes, grow food, and dig resources, right? Think about it. The treasures in our soil, mixed with the hands of our genius engineers and trades workers, can and will supply an abundant, affordable, autonomous future to our country. And now more than ever, we need autonomy and independence. Unfair and unresolved U.S. tariffs and diplomatic distractions and disruptions from down south and from other places show that we cannot rely on others to secure our borders or buy our goods. Conservatives renew our good faith offer to help the Prime Minister and his government get U.S. tariffs removed and open new markets abroad. We will work with the government in any way we can because conservatives always put our country ahead of our party. In this dangerous and uncertain world, Canadians must stand united so we can stand on our own 2 feet. United and strong, Canadians will bow before no nation anywhere on earth. Canada must make new friends, honor our alliances, and do our part. On resources, trade, diplomacy, foreign aid, and everything else, though, it's clear we must prioritize our own national interest above all else. And here's the good news. The good news is that the same conservative policies that will make life affordable will make Canada more self-reliant. We will do it by starting with the Canadian Sovereignty Act. This is a law that will put us back in charge of our lives. It'll bring home the $500 billion of investment that has fled south by ending capital gains tax on reinvestment in Canada. That'll be like economic rocket fuel for startups, high tech, and major job-creating projects. We'll replace anti-development laws like C-69 and C-48 with new laws that will quickly approve projects and allow energy shipping off our west coast. We will also quickly greenlight Danielle Smith's proposed pipeline to the Pacific. Let me just put this into context. That pipeline would move 1 million barrels a day and $30 billion a year. That would be the single biggest increase to overseas exports in Canadian history. And for context, the Liberals now say that they want this strategic partnership with China for a new world order. One pipeline to the Pacific would increase our exports more than all the products that we currently sell to China in a year. So I think that is a more accurate and pragmatic approach to diversifying our trade. We will end the industrial carbon tax so that we can produce more steel, aluminum, and other things that it takes to grow food and build homes. And speaking of that, you want to launch or relaunch the biggest tariff-proof industry in Canada? You know what it is? Home building. No other country can tariff home building because it's built on Canadian homes, on Canadian land, with Canadian workers using Canadian lumber. It is literally the most homegrown industry we have. So why don't we dedicate ourselves to working with all levels of government to remove all the taxes and all the red tape so that we can create jobs, harvest more lumber, and build homes that our young people can afford. We'll create free trade bonuses for our provinces to open up markets to the rest of Canada. We'll bring incentives and rules to ensure that we keep our Canadian technologies in Canadian hands on Canadian soil. We'll move from the second slowest building permits in the developed world to the fastest building permits anywhere in the developed world. You know, people ask, it seems so complicated. How is it that we get things built? There's actually a very simple checklist that you need to build resource projects. 1, you need the resources. Check. 2, you need the workers. Check. We've got 100,000 unemployed construction workers available to start any day. 3rd, you need the investment. Check. We've got massive pension funds that are literally investing hundreds of billions of our savings in other countries where they can get things built. So the 4th thing is the only thing missing. It's the federal government permits. They are among the slowest in the world. We need to check mark this box so that we can get the federal government out of the way, get the permits so we can get shovels in ground, and that's what we will do. Self-reliance requires self-defense. We must be a nation that protects our seas, skies, and soil without depending on the U.S. or anyone else to do it for us. And that's what our Conservatives believe. It's time to cut the back office bureaucracy and the botched purchases so that massive increases in defense spending actually hit the front line and support our soldiers, sailors, aircrew, and veterans. We will reassert Arctic sovereignty in this great conservative tradition of Harper and Diefenbaker. We will take back control of our North and ensure no foreign powers ever threaten our territory. New bases in Iqaluit. You know, we have no bases in the North right now, in the Arctic North today. We haven't had any since the Cold War. We will open new bases in Iqaluit, Churchill, and Nuvik. 4 rather than 2 new icebreakers will break open that ice and open up new passageways for Canadians. We will speed up the purchases of new tactical submarines. I think my little girl wants to be a submarine sailor. She's very excited by that idea. So I think she's tired of hearing Daddy's speech, though, so we lost her. We will speed up purchases of new submarines, tactical helicopters, satellite ground stations, over-the-top radar, and we will quickly add an arsenal of drones that will cover more territory at lower costs and less risk to Canadian life so that we are ready for the future of warfare. And we will expand recruitment and also performance by promoting and hiring based on merit and not political correctness. Our forces will be guided by a warrior culture, and our government will be dedicated to its first responsibility, which is to take care of our precious veterans. They fought for us, and we will always fight for them. On doit diversifier nos marchés et renforcer nos alliances avec nos partenaires de l'OTAN. On doit combattre les tarifs américains et faire ce qu'on peut pour avoir une entente sans tarifs avec les États-Unis. Et oui, les conservateurs sont prêts à travailler avec M. Carney et son gouvernement pour trouver des nouveaux marchés et pour éliminer les tarifs américains. Mais on ne peut plus dépendre les autres. C'est pour ça que je propose la loi sur la souveraineté qui va nous permettre d'exploiter nos ressources naturelles, de ramener la production ici au Canada avec des emplois payants et un dollar et un pouvoir d'achat plus fort pour qu'on puisse être vraiment, véritablement et finalement maître chez nous. Thank you. And we need to unite this country like never before, because a house divided cannot stand. You know, here we go again. Liberals are in power, and just as night follows day, separatist movements are in resurgence back in Quebec and here in Alberta. These movements, which had been dormant or even dead when Prime Minister Harper left office. Now, we can simply attack people who feel this way, or we can ask them why. Why in Alberta and Quebec? Why, particularly among young people in those provinces, have so many lost hope in Confederation? Well, here's a few hints. For the last 10 years, Ottawa has told our young people that our history is filled with shame and horror, that we are a post-national country with no core identity, and that our youth will never own homes. But other than that, they should feel great about being united in Canada. All the while, the federal government stomps on Alberta's energy sector and Quebec's jurisdiction. Now, our message to those youth and to all of the people in Alberta and Quebec who are losing hope in our country: you will again have a country that respects your autonomy, is proud of your industries, unites us around our common identity and history, a country that will afford you the hopeful future that you have earned. Thank you. You know, it's incredible that when there's never been a referendum crisis or a national unity crisis when conservatives have been in power. It's an interesting coincidence, isn't it? Quand les libéraux sont au pouvoir, par contre, ça profite toujours aux souverainistes qui avaient disparu pendant les années Harper. Quand les conservateurs sont au pouvoir, l'autonomie du Québec est respectée et la contribution de l'Alberta est reconnue. Et notre pays est fier, uni, abordable et rempli d'espoir. Le problème, c'est que depuis 10 ans, les libéraux ont dit effectivement 2 choses aux jeunes Québécois et jeunes Albertains. Que le Canada est un État post-national, sans identité, avec une histoire supposément honteuse. Et que les jeunes, vous autres, vous n'allez jamais avoir une maison. Donc, on dit à nos jeunes, vous n'avez pas d'identité et pas de maison, mais soyons fiers d'être Canadiens. On peut imaginer pourquoi nos jeunes commencent à perdre l'espoir. Donc, ce soir, j'ai un message pour des jeunes Québécois. Le nationalisme québécois fait partie du patriotisme canadien. Le Canada sera fier de son histoire et de son identité. Vous allez redevenir fiers de notre pays et le Canada va vous permettre de réaliser vos ambitions, vos rêves et votre avenir au sein d'un Canada uni. Merci. And we will celebrate. We will celebrate rather than tear down our heroes in history. Our museums and heritage programs will tell the unvarnished truth that conservatives have known all along. This is the greatest country on earth precisely because of the goodness of those people who came here and sacrificed before us. As the great Nova Scotian Joseph Howe said, a wise nation preserves its records, gathers up its monuments, decorates the tombs of its illustrious dead, repairs its great public structures, and fosters national pride and love of country by perpetual reference to the sacrifices and glories of the past. Uniting around our common history will heal the divisions. We want a nation where all of us are equal, a nation that is colorblind. We want a nation with no more hyphens, no more group labels. We are all Canadians, Canadians in our heart, Canadians in every single way. And immigration must serve our national interest as well. We will welcome those who contribute, and we'll make sure that their skills are recognized so that they can get licensed to work as doctors and nurses in our country and reduce wait times in our hospitals. At the same time, we must cap immigration at numbers we can integrate into our jobs, housing, healthcare, and Canadian way of life. We will deport criminals, end fraud, end abuse and handouts to phony refugees. We will no longer allow foreign conflicts to spill onto our streets. We must unite to end anti-Semitism and the attacks on their places of worship. And stand with our Jewish friends and neighbors who are under attack like never before. We want Jews to feel comfortable and safe. They should be able to wear the Star of David, put up the mezuzah, and wear a kippah everywhere and be proudly Jewish all around. That's the story of Canada, isn't it? It's incredible. Protestants and Catholics teared each other's eyeballs out for hundreds of years on the other side of the pond, and they came here and got along. Yes, we squabble. Yes, we get on each other's nerves, but we don't fight each other because of religious or sectoral differences. We get along with our next door neighbors regardless of where their grandparents live. When newcomers arrive in this country, just as it has always been, we will ensure that they leave differences at the doors. Et on va laisser les problèmes d'ailleurs à la porte. We must restore security at home. Crime has gotten so bad in this country that in Toronto, the police tell people to leave their keys at the door so that thieves can more safely steal their car in the middle of the night. In Brampton, people are literally being told that because there is an extortion wave on their particular street, they should move into their basements to minimize being hit, the chance of being hit by a stray bullet. In Canada, it's not just stats, it's human tragedies. In 2024, a violent repeat offender released by liberal laws murdered a wonderful piano teacher, Esty Jones. The killer should have been in jail, and Esty should still be alive today. Her niece, Esther, is here with us today. Esther, where is she? She decided to turn this terrible strategy into action, this terrible tragedy into real change. She joined our party and testified in a parliamentary committee against catch and release liberal laws. And together with her, together with you, Esther, we will work to pass laws requiring that anyone convicted of 3 serious offenses will have a minimum of 10 years in prison with no jail, parole, probation, or house arrest. The tiny group of criminals, the career criminals, will stay behind bars so that no one ever faces a tragedy like Esther's family. And I can tell you, Esther, that your wonderful aunt will have an incredible legacy because her story will inspire us to take the action that will save so many other lives. Thank you, and God bless your beautiful family. We will also protect the freedoms of law-abiding people with a new Castle law that allows you to take whatever action necessary to protect your family against home invaders. We will do so also by protecting the rights of law-abiding firearms owners, stopping the liberal gun grab, and putting the money into border security. By definition, if you've got a possession or an acquisition license, if you're following the law, if you would even respect this confiscation policy, you're by definition not the risk. You're not a danger, and we shouldn't be wasting police resources harassing you The Liberals want to protect turkeys from hunters. We want to protect Canadians from criminals. And we will protect your religious freedom. We will stop the Liberals from censoring politically incorrect Bible verses. You will have the ability to worship God in your own way. And we'll protect our loved ones from addictions. Overdoses have cost 50,000 lives and overrun our streets. We'll bring in life sentences for fentanyl kingpins, shut down the drug dens, and treat drug abuse, because 50,000 dead is too many. Let me tell you. After years of intense struggle with drugs, Kirk was determined to take his life. While driving on the Sea to Sky Highway, he took off his seatbelt and he drove full speed into a rock wall. But God was not finished with him yet. Kirk survived. And he later said, at that moment, I decided I was going to change my life. Kirk entered recovery, counseling, group therapy, exercise, and yes, faith. It was hard, but it saved his life. And he has since become a chef at the St. Treatment Center. He makes a mean steak, which he's promised to let me try. He's also the CEO of Probiotic Sodas and has 6 employees. He will soon be marrying his beautiful fiancée, and both of them are here with us tonight. Give them a big round of applause. Way to go, buddy. Way to go, man. We love you. You know, when I go to these treatment facilities, I love to go and meet with mostly the young men who are in those places, turning their lives around. And I walk in and I say, I'm not here because you need me. I'm here because, frankly, I'm here because I need you. Canada has a job for you to do. You need to get better and go out and pull the next guy off the street. And he's going to come in and get better, and he'll go back out and pull the next guy off the street. And we're going to keep doing that again and again till every last one of our brothers and sisters is back on their feet. So hang on, have hope. Help is on the way. Hope. That's really the theme of this convention and this evening. Hope is on the way for our people as well. But hope is not just a comforting blanket. Hope is the knowledge that your work will fulfill your purpose, your why. He who has a why can bear any how, Viktor Frankl wrote in the great book, Man's Search for Meaning. That thing that you call meaning could be for you a home, a career, a family, a business. Seeing your autistic daughter speak for the first time is the thing. It's the thing. That meaning is the thing that keeps people fighting on through hardship. People ask me, why? I keep going. You know, the slings and arrows, they're the easy part. Constantly being away from family, that's the harder part. You know, my little boy, Cruz, he cut out and colored a little paper Spider-Man and gave it for me to take on the road to stop bad guys. I look at it when I'm in the hotel room, sometimes late at night. It makes me smile. I see all those little scribbles and cut marks and imagine those little figures working away. And I know that one day I'll come home and those fingers will have grown big. And I miss him. And too often, I kiss my wife and daughter goodnight through FaceTime. So why keep going? Because we want our kids to have the same promise that we had. Because we want them to know that when you care about something, you work for it. When you believe in something, you fight for it. And most of all, when you start something, you never give up. Because the unsung heroes who built and protect this country, who have it infinitely harder than I do, they never give up. So I have no right to give up. Because all of you who pound signs on frozen ground, knock doors on dark nights, and sacrifice warm family dinners for cold campaign pizza, you never give up, so I'll never give up. Because the young couple scrimping to start a family, and the single mother fighting each day to feed her kids, they never give up, so that we never give up. Because the Canadian Pacific Railway workers who pounded spikes into frozen ground and forged steel ribbon that united East and West, they never gave up, so we never gave up. Because the Canadian teenagers living in frozen, rat-infested trenches who had it infinitely harder than we do, they fought on, they never gave up, and they won wars so that we will never give up on our country in these times. Comme Canadiens. Comme Canadiens, on ne lâche pas, parce que ça vaut la peine de se battre pour notre pays, son peuple et sa promesse. Because we are Canadians, only Canadians, could carve the world's best country out of a big, cold, vast land, because we never give up, we never back down, we never run away, we stand united, tonight, together, always, because this country, its people, and promise are worth fighting for, because while some say this is as good as it gets, we know the best is yet to come. Thank you very much.